So we talked about community manager tasks. There is a discussion. People have commented today. 26, 2024 demos. It's been like ages. Well, last week we got the demo, so I won't say anything. Topics.
Yes, I would like to talk about harvest again.
And status. Portrait one. Still lots of work from Deck. Factoring migrations. Mesh configs. In the build. Fixing the workflow editor on the dev branch. Like we talked last week, it was merged. We talked about it last week, all of this. So even that we talked about. Yes, 19. So everything is new here. Everything is still working hard. 19 here. Update GraphQLFilter example. Documentation, adding some comments. What does it say? Okay, interesting. I query content item. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could terminate a query and still return a I query. That's weird. Does all return an I query? Or maybe that's the only thing that returns I query. What is all? All indicates all. No, maybe not. So think does it means can be an expression.
You would think that all just creates a new group of where clause or something like that, but returns a query.
It's not new. All. What's the difference between all and where? Or with. Which is really next, but where? It's SQL and all. There is no where here. Oh, I remember. But yeah, is it? No, it's not. I don't agree with that. It's not materializing the query. This is for or and ends, but it's not materializing the query. The starting stop. And also, oh, no, it's not. So I don't understand the comment. Yeah, more than a year ago. State for another manipulation doesn't mean that we can't call anything after all and then breaks the code. So maybe let's see. Like a dot all dot where. Okay. Update HtmlSanitizer. Update should be. Cloudsmith attribution. Remove check. Update OpenId. Write more information to leg. Okay. Displaying your message in display. I could be concerned by what exactly these error messages contain. it fix min item deletion. Those are the changes from last week. We have shown now and populate objects, so we don't have to initialize to have the init keyword on the property, which means if we have a list or a dictionary in an object, SystemText.json will use this object instead of trying to create a new one. Fix GraphQL API with parameters. I think it was a serialization issue. So it needs a custom serializer for these parameters with name queries. Use JsonPath.net. So SelectNode. Since we work with JsonPath now using JsonPath.net. So library used here. With a nice method name, create content item with Navbar. And I thought about you, Mike, because in the story on this PR is that I said, why you move the code here and create a method called create content item? Because when I see that, I'm like, I don't know how it's creating a content item. When I see the red code here, I see how it's creating a content item. It's easy to understand. With the method, it's hiding the thing. So I was not super happy with the thing, but now the method name is explaining how it's doing that. And then there was some code in the PR, was this PR merged? The PR that one. Yeah, what was it doing? It was for the workflow. Workflow.instance. If I search for code, workflow, instance, or something like that. Ah. So there was some code that was setting a flag in a dictionary. And the code itself didn't mean anything. Like, why did you do that? And in the opposite of that case, I was like, we should create a method that explains what it's doing. So when instead of copy pasting the same code, nobody knows what it's doing, let's create a method with a nice name that will explain what the thing is doing. Pretty sure we should have conversion. It's interesting. So naming matters. Add Navbar shape for liquid. Wow. So what does it look like now? So we talked about it last week during the triage. So now we have a function. So a function that will create a Navbar shape. Is that thing still useful?
Yeah, because you can still access the properties that are on that navbar, because the navbar is entity. So if you attach something to it, you can access it.
But have you tried it? Because it won't work.
Well, if you pass properties.
No, but you
so
can't access anything like this. Or do you access an object of type Navbar? Because you can return a shape. Will the shape inherit from Navbar? I'm not sure.
The navbar dot.
What's the .NET type of the thing you get here? It's an I shape. It could be a subclass, a dynamic subclass of Navbar using dynamic proxy. I'm not sure anymore. Maybe, but if it's the case, then it works. But I don't remember if using build display async, we will actually create a Navbar subclass dynamically, or if we get something like a zone shape.
Yeah, maybe maybe it should have been dot name dot content then properties. Probably I'm not too sure honestly right now.
But yeah,
I would have to try.
Maybe it's useful, but I'm saying it can't work today if this thing is not of type Navbar. And even
I see what you're saying.
And yeah, so
because that first one is called, so it converts it to shape, and then so it's not really a navbar anymore. It's a shape.
So there is something you might not know because you didn't see the history, but a shape is something that implements I shape. Navbar doesn't implement I shape. But what we do sometimes, most of the time, is when you say you want Navbar to be the shape type, we actually create dynamically a new type that will inherit from this thing and implement I shape. It's a dynamic proxy, which means it still is a navbar and it will be an I shape. And it will work with that because it's a subclass of navbar. So that's why I'm saying it will work if build display async does that, creates a dynamic proxy of navbar. And I don't remember it does that in this case, because we might just return a zone shape here and not something that inherits from navbar. So that's why we should debug that and see what's the type of the shape. But we have some feature that will create an I shape based on anything like this. Maybe not from being display async. The factory, the shape factory will do that, for instance. I don't know if this thing is using the shape factory in this way, in this case. But if you say, give me a shape factory and you say navbar, then it will create a shape out of it. Then so navbar, if it's not populated, so if you have a shape named navbar, and it's, yeah, that's a trick here. So that's a new, but no, don't do that. Don't do that. Do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do that.
Don't do what?
To use dynamic.
Dynamic?
If you don't
well,
have
I think
to,
you have to because you need to access content.
Well, content, you can access this from dynamic. Doesn't mean you can't access content if it's not dynamic. Because let me see.
Because I shape, so you think you have to.
Yeah.
Because it returns an I shape, and I shape does not contain a content.
So I will check. And I know it doesn't have the content, but I will check if you can't access the content. So when you create a display async, it returns an I shape. But if you know the actual type of the eye shape, you can cast it to that. So that's one thing. And then maybe it will have the property content. Then that's why I don't want people to use shapes on the front end. It's too complicated. Shape. Properties. Eye shape.properties content. And that's what the dynamic will do, but without time bindings, dynamic bindings, or whatever. So that will just work. So we can do dot properties, double quote content, and we'll have access to the content thing without using the dynamic. That's a way. And
like
then
access a key called content.
Yeah, you can do that, and not use dynamic. For perf, it's much better because when you say dynamic, what will happen is then every time you would invoke a property, the compiler will emit a new type, a new object with this property, and will replace the accessor by our dynamic invocation code, which will access the properties property and the double quote content. So it's nice like this, but it just prevents you from doing dot properties double quote content, but it involves dynamic code, which is much slower when you under that. That's why we try to not use dynamic anywhere when we have an eye shape. And I wonder what type display lacing will provide. Oh, this display lacing. Didn't we say that this thing was some HTML content?
Yeah, why is
so that's wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to remove that, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then if it doesn't have a content property, I don't know, something like display. Yeah, I don't know. Something is wrong. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see it. I'll revisit it.
Okay. Driver. That's good. So yeah, the trick here that Mike implemented is what we want to do with this thing is the shape when it's rendered will lazily load its state being made of all the driver results. And the idea is when you invoke navbar as is, it will say, have I been created using a build display async? And in this case, the content property will be full of stuff from the drivers. If it's null, it says, no, I have never been initialized. So let me initialize myself. See, model.content equals shape.content. So definitely not display async, just the raw content shoved in the model.content. And then here at that point, it's always initialized. So we say, let's display the content. So yeah, you can just remove the await display async here. This is cool. And it's nice because now instead of having in the code to invoke yourself build display async to build a navbar that is already filled with all the drivers, you can just say, oh, let's create a new navbar and say render. And it will load its driver result dynamically using that. And then render itself like this, whatever content at all its zones like this. It could even say display async model, which will invoke again porgabi. Yeah, this thing, and then it will already be populated, and then it will just call. No, you have to do that with the content actually, right? So that's yeah, I like it. So that's a new thing. And what makes me sad. So then all the driver you see. Display navbar. So in this case, then the driver that was using the navbar now doesn't need to populate a navbar. It's just say, let's render a navbar, or let's render nothing in this case. display Navbar. Okay. The display driver. So this one does the same thing. Well, yeah, this one does the same thing by loading automatically its content when it's rendered. So the driver does not do that. And the goal for this one is to be not breaking change from 1.7 because content culture picker was used before 1.8 to render the content culture picker without having to bin custom state. So just rendering the shape will load everything, and that's doing it again. So that's just removing that, which is unnecessary apparently. How does it work? So you see, you remove that, but now I'm wondering, what does it do? Where is the thing that it's trying to render? But it's actually guessing it's a navbar because this thing is an iUpdater of navbar.
No, because
So
the manager is the iManager,
Oh,
iDisplay
I see.
manager of a navbar.
That's coming from there. So you don't need to specify the type. Okay. So it will create a shape, build a display for it, and display it. Okay. Yeah, that's where last week we said maybe we should have a method for that, like render shape. That will do this, like render or display shape, something like that. Will display, yeah. Okay. So that's the same thing. And the liquid parser, yeah. So what makes me sad is that now you have done everything that is necessary to just create a navbar to be able to render it, but you also enable the functions just to be able to create a navbar shape using the function, which is making a precedent because we've never done that. If you want to create a shape in Razor or in Liquid, before you would just say navbar the string pipe create shape, and then you can do pipe shape render, but you say navbar pipe create shape, or the shape tag and which is not that, yeah, shape tag and then now even without quotes. Now people will see that and will be like, that's a new thing. And oh, let's try to do content culture picker function. We'll create a new shape. Nope, this is specifically for this thing that you registered here that says if you call navbar as a function, then we will create a navbar shape. And by the way, this thing is actually useless because if you don't call that, it won't populate the content and the shape itself will populate it. But that's interesting to see that it works, that you can pre-populate the content. You should debug that when you go from there, it doesn't invoke the, and maybe that's what you did, right? Because this doesn't work. This doesn't work, so maybe you should try that. Try to create a navbar without the function, just to see that this code will fail because you invoke. Makes sense, Mike, because we only care that you understand that.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I gotta fix it.
If tomorrow you create a PR to remove that, I won't blame you. So there is not another way to create a shape, just for one time. Functions are super interesting. That's why It's implemented in free, but it's not a liquid feature. That's why it's behind the flag. We might want to use functions and maybe for other things more important than creating shapes, or also to create shapes. Or maybe we would have a function called create shape and we pass a name, but we have a time for that. So yeah, we could think about what we want to do with functions if we want to use them. So that is wrong. Nobody commented on that. There is one thing on this PR to say. Nobody said it. I'm so disappointed. So many people know about the rules here. Isham, I will blame you because Zoltan, yeah, he's a manager, doesn't know how to code. But Isham, you know. No, I'm wrong. Sorry, no, I'm wrong. I thought it was an argument for the strings here. No, this is the exception. That's how it works. So I didn't say anything. Yeah, it's all good. That's the first argument I should from Lombiq. This is I hate this one. Lombiq takes the first argument. Yeah, exception is the first argument, and then there is the message, and then there is the parameters. So Gabor will just remove all this part from the recording. Menu. So log GraphQL, so that's good. Set listpart property, listpartviewmodel. Okay. Was missing and then we did it. Okay. Value is required for. So this is a PR from Thomas to change how the required things are rendered in the form. We just open the PR here because there is a screenshot. Before, after. So when it's required, there is a star everywhere, and then it's all grouped, and each form item is red. So I think it's better. Some of them don't support the nice things. Maybe this could be another improvement. You see these ones are much red. This is not red, but it's harder to do. New contributor. Serialize SitemapSource derived types. Okay. So do you remember what's the type that has this collection?
Yeah, it's the one above it. Go back, you'll see. I think it's a source, something source.
SitemapSources, which is an array. Yeah, okay. What? Minimal API. So you merged it. Now we have a minimal API.
Yeah, that's for the content. Doesn't hurt. Just gives us more.
What
speed.
is that?
That's about it.
Add create content endpoint, map post API content, okay. Post, okay. Allow anonymous.
Yep. And leave the same
Oh,
by
so we
default.
don't wait.
Because we do the validation on the inside.
So we don't want actually a middleware to do the verification. That's what you said.
Yeah, correct.
We have that before.
Yes, we had that. And the reason
allow anonymous. Okay.
And the reason why I think we do that is because if you want to have a content item that you want just expose it for everyone.
I see. So we delay the authentication to our own code to authorize. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. And disable anti-forgery token. Ignore anti-forgery token. Do you know why? Because it's an API endpoint. Okay, and we don't want to pass the token with the request, and it's authenticated.
Yeah, I just didn't like that naming action async. I want to rename it to handle async, that method. But at some point I'll do that.
What do you mean?
I just don't like that name. The private method is called
That
action
thing?
async. Yeah. It should probably
And
be
what do you
handle
call it?
async. I think handle might
I
sound
see what you
better.
mean.
Yeah.
Something like execute async, handle async, something. Yeah, not action.
Yeah.
Nice to generate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, handle could be something that I will see. So it seems familiar. Okay. Select node and node for JsonDynamicObject class. Remove add. Select node. So methods in this object so they are available everywhere. They were missing. They were in JSON.NET, so this is like a sheen of JSON.NET. Add a way to hide content type definition setting. Okay, so these are things that we have today. Did show creatable, show listable, show draftable, show versionable, show secureable, content type definition settings, configuring the configuration of the configuration, content type definition options, content type definition driver options. Let's see, okay. Custom user settings. Okay. Custom settings. Okay. And then you change these things. Okay. So new setting. And how do so you can only, you know, when I said changing the settings of the settings of the settings. So how do you change then? It's just by code, right? If I want to change show create.
Yeah, just by code. Yeah.
But is it an option model? It's an option model. So in theory, you should be able to do that. Oh, no, you can't because you can't. No, it's not an option model in this case because it's try add. Oh, maybe you should be able to do that in JSON for fun. If you use that as the name of a property and that as the name of the root property, then you could be able to set the things from JSON options. That would be nice to see. That would work.
Yeah, I never did that, so I don't know. I don't think you can do it that way, but I could be
No,
wrong.
because you don't bind explicitly. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to call bind. Okay. That the view model for the just these options and this one same thing. Okay. I've used a paragraph in the docs where we show these properties. If we document these properties, what they do. You could also have a PS like, or if you want to hide these configuration for a specific part or type, you can do that. And that makes sense because these ones, they are the custom settings and custom user settings. They are not parts that you want to, or in this case, stereotype that you want to manage. Each input widget CSS style. Okay. Widget form. Shape, try get property, you see? Same thing. If we have a new alternate reflexes to document it somewhere. Because it would be lost. Nobody will think, oh, there is a shape table provider. Maybe it's creating an alternate. Yeah, it's there. No, nobody will know. Okay. Yeah, the init are not necessary anymore because Sarah found a way to say don't use init if you don't need, just populate the existing arrays. Which is actually even better because this initialization would have been lost. Stream updates, update, and the storage of credentials. Interesting. Okay. But why not do that in the create HTTP context? Or optionally say flow the user principal. Done with triage. Later. Victoria.
Yes.
Maybe.
So this week, I wanted to talk about the next step. Sorry, but somehow I managed to close. A moment, sorry. Yes. So the next step would be to formulate the goals and leading themes of the conference. I just made a post to the organizers channel, but it's basically so we have a place, so that's fine. We will organize it in Las Vegas. I also proposed a date, and it was I also posted about the date and the place in the Orchard Commerce or Orchard CMS, which is available for everybody. I can let me link it to you. Yes, it's there. Okay, so that's also good that you share it here, because everybody who is not part of the organizing team can get the news weekly. I will try to post every week a short comment where you can get every important information. And as I wrote here, the conference most likely will be in September, but I also proposed 2 dates for the organizers, which is the 19th and the 20th of September, which seems fine for me. I didn't find any national or international holiday. It's on Thursday and Friday, so if somebody wants to have the weekend as well in Las Vegas, they can do it, and we also don't steal so many working days. So that's a first thing which is important. But the other thing is that now we will formulate the goals and leading themes of the conference. So I would like to gather all the suggestions, recommendations. For example, we were talking about that there could be more programs or presentation for the new developers. So that's one thing, but I would really be really happy to get other suggestions how to formulate the whole event. And we also need more programs because it will be a 2-day conference and not just an online conference. So people will need much more program to fulfill all the time we will have.
Sessions, you mean programs, sessions?
Yes,
Great.
like sessions, yes.
Or workshop or whatever. Yeah. Is that's the thing that you want to share here? Because I don't see any date or whatever.
Yeah, I will share the date.
So that's the okay.
Because sorry for the background noise. This week I was waiting for the feedback if that's all right, the date. But I didn't get any negative feedback from the organizers team, so that will be fine.
But feedback from where? So by email, did you send the request from feedback by email, or because why not share it publicly? The thing, no? Where is that?
Sorry?
You say you are requesting feedback from the organizer from the owner of the meeting room?
No, the organizer team. I'm still waiting on the feedback from the venue. So that's also, it can also be a wrong date because of it, but I would also check other venues first, then cancel the date, because
then the organizers us. Where did you send the request? What did I miss? Did I miss an email? Did I miss a discussion? Did I miss?
Yeah, there is the Orchard Harvest organization GitHub channel for those who participate in the organization, and I post there weekly. So maybe you have missed some of my posts there. But I would really appreciate if somebody can also add their idea of themes or goals to it. So I just wanted to say this here as well.
Okay.
And also about the date. So that's it from me.
Thank you. I look into this channel. Good topics, questions? All good? Victoria, Gabor, Antoine, when is that the DST for you already? When do you switch times?
This weekend on
Sunday. Next one. Okay, thank you. Awesome. So next week we'll see the people who missed the hour. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, all good. Thanks everyone. See you on Thursday.
Bye.
Thank you.